She is from San Diego, California, over 30 years in the industry, has worked on films like The Suicide Squad and Xfinity Wars Endgame. Please welcome to this show, Michelle Diamantides. Thank you so much, Michelle. Oh my God, you just do not understand. You don't understand how honored I am to have you on this show. I love you. You know I love you so much. I mean, your spirit is so amazing, and I'm so grateful to have you on the show. You've been in the industry for a long time, and you even kind of, told me bits and pieces about wigs, and you taught me so much on the last show we were on.
I'm so glad.
I learned so much, and I'm so thankful for every second.
I'm so glad.
Tell our audience about how you got started in the industry and everything.
Oh gosh, I had kind of an interesting path. I went to college, ended up studying set design.
Wow.
Of all things. I started painting as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very two-dimensional. I loved painting. I loved all that.
I love it.
I worked as a scenic artist, which of course, I graduated and decided, I don't really want to do this after all. So sorry, Dad. But I still loved painting. So I got into makeup.
Okay.
And I went into opera, where you do hair and makeup. And the makeup is like kind of fantastical and painterly.
Yes.
Which I love. But of course, at that point, you got introduced to hair at the same time. And wigs. And I had learned a little bit about wig making in college.
Okay.
So at that point, after college, I moved up to Seattle, and I was their first hair and makeup intern at Seattle Opera.
Oh, wow.
Where I connected with a wig maker, and I apprenticed with him for like a couple of years.
Wow. So you were in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington. Moved up there after college.
Wow.
And then, of course, I did that for a while, and then decided that I really wanted to move into film and TV at some point, and I knew I needed my license.
Right.
So then, I guess that's when I committed to the hair side.
Yeah.
That maybe at one point, I would want to move into hair, and I would need my license.
Yes. So what made you choose hair though? Like, was it like something just kind of stuck with you, like just lit a fire or whatever?
Well, it was kind of like I had been painting two-dimensionally for years.
Yes.
And then when I started doing hair and wigs, it was so three-dimensional and kind of sculptural. I think it was kind of a new way to be artistic for me, and it was attracted me.
Okay, because I mean, a lot of people that are hairstylists, they still don't have the talent that you have. Let me just say that, because you know how to ventilate and do like really like strategic stuff with wigs, and I totally admire that because I went to a class and I was like, nah, I can't do that. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think I made my first mustache in college. My costume design teacher was she wanted her students to be so well-rounded, so we learned to ventilate. And then I've always loved tedious work. So when I became that intern in Seattle, that teacher said Santa Fe Opera had a wig making apprentice program, and that he had a lot of jobs and he would send you out. So I went to that program, and for 3 months you just learned to ventilate, basically.
Oh, wow.
And I realized I'd always done latch hook and like very tedious things, so it came naturally, and I actually enjoyed it.
Wow.
So I did that first, and then I went to beauty school years later. So I had started doing
so you started out doing that.
And styling, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah. So tell us about your time with the opera and all of the magnificence of just the opera, because I worked at the opera here in Atlanta, just briefly. But
it's so fun,
and how different it is from.
I love that you make the wig, do the fitting, style the wig, color it, put the makeup on that night, put the wig on, do the prep, take it off, you do the whole thing.
Yes.
And one show is modern, one show is Marie Antoinette style, one is 1930s. So you get to practice all these things and all this variety constantly.
That's like so much knowledge and just education that
so
you
much
received
education
just within that time that you were in Washington.
Well, I worked in Seattle, and then I went to Santa Fe Opera, which I worked there for 3 years, and then I worked all over the United States.
So you traveled?
I traveled all over.
I know that was fun.
Yeah. I traveled all over for like 5 years, and then I ended up running the hair and makeup program at Florida Grand Opera in Florida, in Miami.
Wow.
So I did that for 10 years.
I did not know that. So you were like the head of the hair of the opera and
hair and makeup, yes.
That's amazing.
In Miami. So then it was good. We were able to start a family and kind of settle down, not travel as much.
Yeah.
It was a good place for us to
Yes.
have a base.
That is amazing. So how did you switch from opera to now film and TV? Tell us about that.
Rock of Ages came into town, and I didn't know, but I actually already had my union days because it was a union house, even though we weren't getting paid union.
Yes.
I already had my hours. Anyway, I worked on that show for 2.5 months, and then I basically got in right after that show. And it was very quick. I was like, "Oh, great!
Yeah, you did your time. You paid your dues, Sonny. When I tell you, that's a long, just a long, extensive with the opera and stuff like that. And so that's how you got in the union. And then how did you climb up that ladder?
I just started getting recommended to Kiefer people, and then I moved up pretty quickly because a lot of people needed help with wigs. So I was quickly refronting wigs for this show and this show and this show.
Yes.
And then that helped me move into shows that had a lot of wigs. So I would be constantly customizing wigs for the show. Stunt people or more minor characters or sometimes lead characters. But it kept me very busy.
Wow. So how, as you're doing these shows, what are some experiences that you've had? What are your favorite shows that you've done, ventilating or making wigs for? Because I know you've done so many shows, but does anything stick out? Does anything stick out to you?
You know what's funny is I've been on movies where I quickly needed hair that I did not have.
That's us. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I literally cut some hair off of my daughter to put in a wig that I needed done the next day. Yeah. She was 3 and I didn't have no hair, which she usually put in the front. So I cut 3-year-old hair.
That is hilarious.
That was funny.
Wow.
I used my mother's hair in Spider-Man.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that because my son, he had just cut all his hair off his head the other day, and his hair was pretty long and getting, the afro hair. Yeah. And I said, cut it all off, put it in a Ziploc bag and give it to me because you never know when you're going to need it for a show.
Yes.
Literally, that's how we do as hairstylists, especially working in film and TV. We literally save all the hair, everything.
I have stashes of hair, and I remember who they are. That's my friend's daughter.
That is hilarious.
And it's kind of priceless hair. Sometimes it's unusual colors or unusual curl patterns or things that you can't buy without a lot of effort.
Yes. Oh my God. So tell us about any lessons that you've learned along the way in the industry that we can tell our audience.
Yes. I think lessons would be, first of all, to choose something that you're passionate about.
Yes, definitely.
If you're not passionate about it, in our business, we work crazy long hours.
Yes.
So if you don't really love what you do, it's going to be hard for you.
Yeah.
So I think in life in general, pick something you love, and then just to be the kind of person and make sure you can go home and sleep at night with your behavior and your actions.
That's so true.
No matter what field you choose, because there's, in our business, in any business, there's opportunities to not make the right choice.
That is very true.
So I think just to be the best kind of person you can in whatever field, and in our field, we're put in unusual circumstances where you have to make choices.
Yes. That's so true.
So,
my mom always told me, do what you love to do. Just do what you love because that's going to give you the longevity that you need in the industry. And I mean, the way we work, you better love what you're doing. Sitting on set and just doing all this work for over 12 to 14, 16 hours a day. So are there any pivots that you have as far as your life? Are there any other aspirations that you have for the future, for your future?
I have 2 children. They're both teenagers, and they'll be leaving the house.
You're gonna be an empty nester soon, like me and David.
I know, right? and the last couple of years, I've tried to not travel for work as much because it's been nice to be home. But I think once they're getting older like this, I might be more. I love to travel.
Me too.
I've traveled to a lot of great places for work. I wouldn't mind doing more of that once they're out of the house. And I love doing period hair.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
love
That's
that.
like one of my favorite things to do.
Somehow I've gotten kind of stuck in more modern type shows, but I wouldn't mind doing a little bit more of that.
Yeah. I say the same thing. I really, it's where you can really think and get more creative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's awesome. Are there any final words that you want to leave with them? Tell us where they can find you. Maybe, I don't know, because I don't know if you put your work and stuff out.
I don't put my work out much. I'm on Instagram. I don't post much about work.
Yeah.
Only because I have a family.
Yeah. Of course.
At this point, I just haven't had to, but
yeah,
I'm on Instagram. You can find me. Final words.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say if there's something you really enjoy, then go for it.
Yes.
But don't think you won't have to work hard at it. You will have to work hard at it, and hopefully your love for it will make that working hard enjoyable for you.
Yes.
You know, my father wanted me to be a pharmacist.
Oh wow.
I said, yeah, I would be the worst pharmacist.
Oh my God.
And so of course I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And then I've managed to succeed in an artistic field that I'm sure he had no expectation of.
Yes.
So I would just say pick what you love and work really hard at it and you will succeed.
Yes. Thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on our show and speaking to the people. God bless you in everything that you do going forward. And I love you. Thank you. See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.